Well, folks, trying to clean up the garage. That's my job for today. And, well, this is how it looks now. And I kind of like to show you what I want it to look like, but unfortunately, the video's in the way. So, let's see if I can move it for you. You see it now? That's what I want it to look like. So let's see what we can do.
I just thought I'd be a little creative with this video. And I should have shown the left side, because the right side really didn't change all that much. All the big changes were on the left. Oh well, such is life. So I was going to do this yesterday, but it was raining off and on, and in order to clean up the garage I'd put a lot of stuff outside, and I couldn't do that when it was raining. So, get the project underway. I know it doesn't look like it, but the garage is actually clean. I got all Zach's stuff together. Got all the stuff that's not being used in the back corner, and all my tools and other stuff are along the one wall. That's going to be all tools on that wall as I run into the lawnmower. I'm going to be parking the monster in front of the trailer eventually once the landlord gets the door fixed. And it's kind of in the way at the moment, so you can't exactly park there at the moment, or right now. So I got the welder out of the box. I got 3 partial bags of garbage and 2 partial bags of recycling. I got the boxes and everything that will have to go out. Unfortunately yesterday, or actually this morning, was recycling day, so I gotta wait 2 more weeks to get rid of that. And I haven't cleaned the trailer out yet. Actually, I just put all my tools along the wall. I haven't really put them back where they belong yet, so I still got that to do. And clean the trailer out, and it'll look a whole lot nicer. I discovered a problem with the ES950 when I was taking it out. The left front wheel is kind of seized. It kind of dragged it out and dragged it back in, so I have a feeling it's time for bearings. I think the right front wheel is the only wheel I've changed bearings on this scooter. So apparently it's time to do the left ones as well. So that's done. That took a lot of energy out of me. I know I did this in high speed, so I'm not sure if you noticed at one point I had this really severe pain in my knee, which happens every once in a while when I do too much. And it kind of worried me, but it went away pretty quick, thankfully. So my next job is to do the lights and put the welder together. I think that's it. And then I'm ready to start working. I'm going to go back to July 1st of last year. I was going to do a whole separate video on this, the fireworks and that, but I decided against it. I'm not actually going to show the fireworks, but I am going to talk about it because there's a few things that I want to say. And right after is when the monsters issue became apparent. So I went out early in the afternoon. Yeah, it's 1 p.m. and it's already 33 degrees out, which is fine by me. I don't mind that at all. But I wanted to find out where the boundaries are for watching the fireworks, because I like to get there nice and early to make sure I get the spot that I want. That's good for the cameras and that. So that's what it did. And I discovered watching this video, and I went down that new street that goes all the way down and around to the park. I discovered, apparently I went down that road last year. I don't even remember. Or that doesn't surprise me either. But I went and talked to the fireman, and apparently it's the fireman that put the fireworks show on here. It's kind of cool. So I asked them where the boundaries were, and they explained everything to me, which was kind of cool. So I went up on the road and looking for a good place where I could see the ground and a good view of the sky at the same time, with nothing really in my way. And I found a spot that I was comfortable with, and I hear a vehicle coming, and well, there's the police officer that I asked about the fireworks. So he pulled over and he talked to me for a little while.
Oh!
You got your spot picked out?
Working on it. I just went down and asked them where the boundaries were, so.
Yeah.
So I think right between the post and the fire hydrant here will probably be best.
Yeah, there won't be many parts there.
Oh, early evening, I head down to the park so I can make sure I get my spot, and there's already a vehicle parked in there. Thankfully, he wasn't parked where I wanted to be. You know, Because I always did that in Hanover. Always got there a few hours early just to make sure I get the spot where I want to. It's kind of neat to get the fire truck down there with the ladder extended and a big flag on top. That's kind of cool. So, I sit here and I got a 3-hour wait. Now while I'm sitting here waiting, it comes to my attention there's a hawk's nest on top of one of the light poles. I'm sure Mommy is used to this, but if there's any chicks in there, and there's at least one, I couldn't really tell how many, but I know there's at least one up there. When the fireworks start, this poor chick's gonna think the world's coming to an end. Because this nest is basically right at ground zero. So they're going to take a brunt of all the explosions. Poor birds. But, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. So the fireworks show itself was fine. It was a nice hot evening. It was really humid. And we're in a whole lot of bugs, which was really nice, because bugs tend to, destroy the best of times. But it was a really comfortable night to watch, and I think this show kind of rivaled the last one I showed from Hanover. It went on longer, and there just seemed to be more to it, and it was pretty cool. And as far as I could tell, the birds never left the nest. They stayed there through the whole thing. So, I guess basically you could say they had a bird's eye view of it, right? So, anyways, the show was pretty good. And what I really wanted to show was what happened afterward. At this point, the show's over, and hundreds of people are leaving all at once. I'm getting ready here, and I got the orange lights on. I don't actually have the headlights on yet. And I reach back and turn on my strobe light. And I turn my headlights on. I'm backing up. Making sure I don't run anybody over. And I start to go forward, and the monster stops. And it went into error mode. So my first thought is that lever on the back slipping out of place. So I turn it off. And it seems fine. I take it out and put it back in just to make sure. Turn on, everything's fine until I start to go, and it goes into error mode again. So it's getting kind of frustrating. Turn it off, turn it back on, turn the lights on, and it goes in error mode. Let's see here for a second, nothing happens. Turn the lights on, error mode. So it seems, I'm checking that lever again, but it seems that turning the lights on is what's causing this error to happen. Yeah, this is a new one for me. I'm kind of baffled. I'm making sure it's not that lever. So at this point, I don't know what to think. I can't really drive without the lights on through here. So, turn the lights on, I wait for a second. Nothing's happening. Start to go, and there's the error mode again. Try it without the lights. Everything's fine. As soon as I turn the lights on, error mode. So the error that's coming up is error code 7, and according to the manual, error code 7 is a throttle fault. Now what happens is if you have the throttle engaged when you turn the scooter on, you'll get that. As soon as you turn it on, the system checks everything, and if there's an issue, then it won't start up. And if the throttle is in any kind of forward or reverse position, then you'll get a fault. I'll lose my voice tonight. And scooter won't start up because it's a safety issue. Don't want to turn it on with the throttle on, it'll take off on you. So, assuming that's what's happening, but it can't be throttle because when I don't turn the lights on, it's working fine, and the throttle it's already gone. Scooter started up. I'm already moving. I turn the lights on. It should not be a throttle fault. So I don't have a clue what's happening. So my only option is to drive with my overhead light on. And I don't really want to do that. I've got the strobe light on the back, so I'm fine for the back. But sometimes it'll do it instantly, and other times it'll just take a bit. But as long as I'm driving with the lights on, this error's coming up. At one point I thought maybe I could just drive with the 4-ways on. Well, apparently that doesn't work either. Eventually, I come to the conclusion I'm not going to be able to drive home with my lights on, so I'm just going to have to drive in the dark. I am totally not comfortable with this. I can use my overhead light. It's not going to affect the scooter systems or anything because it's connected directly to the battery supply, but I don't want to be blinding everybody. So at this point there's no traffic and everything's going good. Then I come up with the line of cars waiting at the stop sign and I'm not sure what to do. So I start passing them in the grass and I decide I'm just going to go through the park and use my overhead light, get past the line of cars and figure out what to do after that. And I get to the main road and turn my light off so I'm not blinding people. And I come to the realization that I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. I'm not going to try to cross because I'm not going to assume that people can see me, even though there's light here. But I really can't sit here and wait for the whole line of cars to go, which I considered doing, and I sit here for a bit trying to decide, my next step. Then I turned the lights on, and I was able to move a little bit, but I don't want to take a chance on trying to cross because I don't want it to suddenly stop in front of the vehicles. So, let's kind of hang out here and wait a little longer. And I get a burst of courage, and I decide I'm just going to go for it. And the monster actually worked. For a little while. Eventually, I just drove without the lights on and used my overhead light. And it got me home. So, for the most part, it was an enjoyable night, but thank you, Monster, for the frustration and the embarrassment once again. So this is now the second symptom of a problem. First one, just kind of randomly going into error mode down on the floodplain, and now not being able to use the lights while I'm driving. This is not a good thing. So this is the beginning of my next 8 months worth of frustration, thanks to the monster.